All right, we should be live. Just going to go ahead and test the sound before we get started. This is Sensei Chat 76. I hope everybody is having a wonderful, blessed day. A lot of stuff to get into. XRP Healthcare is being promoted here in the Middle East and Africa. I got a ton of clips to talk about tokenization. Let me just go ahead and test the sound. Sounding spicy and good. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Tons of news, man. There's stuff going on with Binance. Binance is in trouble in Brazil and is in trouble here with this conflict in Israel. Some Binance accounts have been connected to some terrorist activity. Yikes. Also, I have tons of things to talk about. There's a video that came out a couple months ago, talks about tokenization. You got JP Morgan, you got State Street, it's talking about where this is all headed. I got a really cool document to show you here, as well as just a ton of other crypto news. Also, we're going to talk about the economy because the economy drives markets. And so I hope everyone is doing well. Let me just go ahead and pull this chat up so I can see all of you. Sound is good. Let is rock and roll. Good to see you, MMT. What's up, Zelf? Nice to see you, Ariana. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you, Ariana. All right, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Let's play this. So I want to start here. This was just 2 months ago. You're going to see this gentleman who here works for JP Morgan. This lady works for State Street. State Street, if you didn't know, State Street is a huge custodian, you would call them. State Street is an American financial services and bank holding company headquartered in 1 Congress Street in Boston with operations worldwide. It is the second oldest continually operated United States bank. They're giant, guys. So let's go ahead and play these clips, and I will get into this with you.
Here with 2 representatives of major institutions that are coming into the tokenization, into the DLT space. I think that in the beginning of the tokenization movement, and I see a lot of faces here who have been here from the beginning, it wasn't very institutional, but now it's becoming very institutional. And I think it's very important to hear what institutions are doing, how institutions are thinking, what is the vision, and what we can expect from major institutions. So I want to start with Donna and Scott and ask each of you to describe a little bit about what you're doing in the space and what is your vision for how digitization is going to affect your bigger business and what we can expect in that space. Donna?
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me, Ami and Scott. But so State Street is an institution that really supports the institutional investor. So that's really important. Obviously, JP Morgan is much bigger and much more diversified, but we kind of do one thing, and that is support the institutional investor. We do that in asset servicing, in kind of the analog world, as well as have a small money manager that manages a bunch of money. So with that, we follow our clients like everybody I'm sure does. And our institutional investors are really fascinated by the technology. I'd say they've really de-emphasized crypto for the most part, except for in other small pockets of the client base. And they're looking to distributed ledger technology and smart contracts to really solve real world problems that they have today. They see real benefits in solving problems like operational efficiencies, lowering cost, all the things providing more liquidity, maybe new distribution channels. So they come to us as their service provider to help them figure out how to do that. Some of our clients are very sophisticated and want to do it themselves and have been testing and issuing tokens and coins all along, but many of them are really not. They're looking for their service provider to really provide those services to them. So that's how kind of we're approaching it, and we've been at this now for more than a handful of years, and we're focused on what our clients are focused on, which is how can you tokenize traditional assets? How do you issue digitally native tokens, and then how do you provide custody, fund accounting, and administration, which is what we do in a decentralized world. So that's kind of what we work on.
So you know what's nice there, guys? See, they're talking about State Street being in a handful of years, right? So handful, 5, at least 4 or 5 years they've been working on this. So it is still going to take some time to get to where we need to go, but it's good to hear some of the heads of some of these companies telling you they've been in the space a while, and this is where it's headed. I'm going to show you a document after this that talks about how much value is out in the world. I do talk about this in other Sensei chats, but we are here on YouTube. It's a little bit easier of a platform, everyone to listen to and everyone to talk. So I'm going to educate you on some of that today. Also, I've got a great project I'm going to release in Cryptonaires later on today. It's a decentralized infrastructure project with about 150K market cap, and I had a meeting this morning with their CEO, and this guy comes from a really great background, and just kind of blew me out of the water what this project could be, and I think it's very special. So I'm going to be posting that later on today inside of Cryptonaires for the Cryptonaires Discord. Let's go ahead and get into this. This guy's mic is a little low. That's why I do have subtitles on, so just bear with me, but I want to get his point across here when he talks about what he believes where this value is heading and how much value is heading there.
Do you provide the services mostly to your clients, or do you also work closely with other institutions on projects?
Yes. All of the above.
So I'm assuming it's not something that you're seeing just from your clients. It's an industry-wide.
Yeah, and of course, like we would like new clients too. So the industry, the part of the industry that we serve, we've surveyed them. We've talked a lot to them. Obviously we communicate with our clients all the time and prospective clients, and it's very similar perspective that I just described.
So they survey clients. Clients are interested in DLT. Institutional clients interested in DLT. That's what the point I want to get across. Let's go ahead and listen to this gentleman real quick.
Structure, a future of markets, and so on. Scott, what do you guys do right now in the space? And more broadly, what is your vision for DLT in your operations?
So this guy's from JP Morgan.
Thanks, Amy. So I guess almost flipping it around the other way, we talk about markets, we talk about private markets, we talk about equities, we talk about fixed income on the last panel, and I've been part of panels where had those same conversations.
It's a little low, guys. I know this sounds a little low, but check out the subtitles. I can't make it any louder. This mic he's not speaking directly into it, so it's a little low.
If they're one homogeneous market that if one thing changes, all will change, which clearly it won't. So I think when it comes back to what we're doing, I think our acceptance is that the vision of what this market will look like 10 years from now, if anyone's got that, then great. I think we're too early in the story to really think about how much of each type of asset class in what market by what type will kind of eventually evolve into using this technology. Other than to say, I think a reasonable proportion of regulated markets will be on this technology, using it in a sophisticated way within a decade.
So he thinks all the regulated markets will be on this technology in a sophisticated way within a decade. So he thinks it's going to take 10 years to get all of these markets onto DLT. So it is going to take some time. We know that, but this is one of the heads of JP Morgan telling you that this is where he thinks this is going, which is really fantastic. Let me get to how much he thinks.
And what a reasonable proportion could be, anywhere from the 10% mentioned previously to anywhere sort of sub 50. I don't think north of that is a rational number.
All right. Also, there's another clip I wanted to play here, and then we'll keep going.
I guess I would start with kind of the premise of custody, which is, the proper segregation of assets and safeguarding of those assets. And, I'd say that the frameworks that exist are probably still useful in a digitized world, and we need to figure out, digital custody solutions is only part of it, because you still need to service the assets, even if they're on chain, which they will be. It's inevitable. So I think that our view is that these principles still hold true, and they will hold true in a digital custody world. Now, the economics may be completely different, and kind of what does it look like to safeguard the asset may be very different. I think it makes it difficult if the asset is moving on chains, different chains, no matter what kind of integration or interoperability you create. So these are all things that still need to get worked out.
Yes, and also custody is broken almost into two. There's the custody of the management of the actual signatures and the keys and so on the one side, but on the other side, the transfer agent also has a role.
Yeah.
So
also the underlying asset versus the fund structure.
Yeah.
So that's also, part of the consideration.
All right. I thought that was a great little clip there too. And then we're going to finish off with this one, and I'm going to show you this document.
I've tokenized my first VC fund on Ethereum. and nobody knew how to buy it, nobody knew who I was, and nobody knew how to hold a token, an Ethereum token. So it's clear that this market needs to come from the big players, and I think that especially here in this audience, people that have been working on it for several years have been a little bit, okay, why is it so slow? And I think that the point where we're here today is different from where we were a year ago. At this point, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys and your peers are coming in a big way. It's just happening at the pace that it's coming, and to make regulators comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think it's accelerating, for sure.
One useful technology data point.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. We're loading. Come on, gig internet. Why aren't you working? Come on. Watch my internet drops. That'd be awesome. Huh. I don't know what's going on with this video. You know what? I do apologize. Let me just move on here. All right. So this is the document I want to get into. Tokenization of real world assets. Let's make sure that this is moving. Yes, it is moving. Okay, cool. So I wanted to come down, it talks about what is tokenization. I don't think we need to get into what is tokenization. I think we all kind of know what tokenization is, but what I wanted to do is show you this. This is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool understanding of how many different things in this world can get tokenized. So you have public equity, private equity, you have debt, investment funds, commodities. Of course, you have real estate, you have commercial, residential, real estate funds, real estate debt, land, real estate project developments. So that's a big one. So mostly people just think about real estate, they just think about these two, but there's all this, so this underlying, all this other stuff that is also there. And then you have infrastructure, you have energy infrastructure, renewables, right? Transportation infrastructure, airports, oil and gas fields, water, wasteland, infrastructure, communication infrastructure, excuse me. And then you got arts, you got fine art, rare books, coins and stamps, cars, watches, jewelry, handbags, entertainment and gaming, in-game assets, virtual goods, intellectual property, royalties, gaming, platforms, infrastructure, esports, event-based tokens, digital art, and non-fungible tokens. And then you have personal, financial, data, energy, and Internet of Things and weather. So all of these things can be tokenized and will be tokenized over the lifespan of the next, 5 to 10 years. And then it says, we estimate that the value of tokenized assets will reach at least 10 trillion by 2030. I've seen a lot of different people say a lot of different numbers, guys. We'll have to see how this all turns out. But real world assets market size, and then you have tokenized assets market size, and these are USD into trillions. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of this ends up on blockchain over the next 5 to 6 years. Obviously, the more, the better, but it is coming, right? And you have digital bonds, investment funds, private equity, public equity, and then commodities too, right? And then we scroll down a little bit further and we get into kind of the values, right? And I talk a lot about this, but this is a great reminder, right? Of there's real estate, you have 337 trillion globally, right? Digital bonds, 314 trillion. Investment funds, 155 trillion, and then public equities, right? There's so much value in the world, right? And this is not even really kind of getting into derivatives, FX markets, all that type of stuff too, right? And there's a lot of good key examples here. Just a lot of really great information. I'll share this, of course, in my notes when I post my notes in the Cryptonaires Discord for all you guys. If you want to come in here, read through this document, I highly recommend it. It is a great read. A lot of really good information in here. But let's go ahead and keep moving on here. All right, this is a zesty clip. This is just kind of posted today. This is a private conversation with Caroline Allison talking with FTX employees. And she's kind of telling them that they've been drawing on customer funds and they're in the hole, several $1 billion. And it's crazy. Listen to this.
Gathering the rest of our assets and trying to kind of freeze up as much capital as we can is good, because kind of the more extra capital we have in Alameda, the more capital we can throw into the deal to make it more attractive to CZ.
So she's talking about the deal they have. Remember how when FTX was trying to sell to CZ? That's the context of this conversation. I slowed this down a bit because the audio is pretty terrible, and you're might have to read the screen here. But I slowed it down just a bit for you guys.
Can you say how big the hole is, or
I probably don't want to share the exact number,
sure.
but it's
Is it closer to like 1 bill or 6 bill? Or
the latter.
We have an idea of how likely it is that the deal with CZ will go through.
I don't really know. I said 70% earlier, but then Karen said 40%. If anyone else has estimates, I'll take them. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't know. By default, I sort of like expect CZ to like behave in very like, whatever, zero sum, just like trying to fuck us over ways. So like,
Which happened?
whatever, making us sign this deal, and then that's like, whatever, with an exclusivity clause, and
Do you know
then,
what the price is?
it's basically just covering the, like, user funds shortfall and
Covering the user funds shortfall, right?
a pretty phenomenal price on top of that.
Man, these guys, I wish they wouldn't have given her such a sweetheart deal, man. I hope she sees prison time, because she was really, FTX, Sam Bankman, a lot to blame. But Caroline Ellison, she was the one kind of directing a lot of the money and the flows of money in some of these investments. So I really hope some of these other people do see some jail time, because it's just sad. So somebody, I can't remember exactly who it was posting about XRP healthcare in the community. I went ahead and pulled up the chart here just to show you. XRP healthcare, we're sitting basically right now, low market cap of about $500,000. They are being kind of promoted on healthcare in the Middle East and Africa. Here they are. XRP Healthcare featured as #1 healthcare in Pharma Industry Magazine, Healthcare Middle East and Africa. The latest issue captures our mission to transform healthcare through mergers, acquisitions, and blockchain. So, hey, I think this could be a great project. Definitely want to put it on your radar. I hope you do research it and learn a bit about it. But, my job is just to show you information, and your job is to go ahead and do some more due diligence on that information. Cowboy Crypto posted this. Here's the digital asset segment from 3 weeks ago, playing a video Steven Nerioff is speaking of. I attached the link in the original video. Guys, it does seem the more information that we get out of this, it does feel like Ethereum was definitely up to no good back in 2018. They did pay Bill Hinman to give that speech. They did write the speech for Bill Hinman, which is also kind of funny. But let me go and play this and move on.
This is an actual real whistleblower. This right here, there's a reason. This guy retweeted my tweet that I put out this morning. Let me show it to you again, because I'm going to tell you the whole story. This thing has got, his retweet of what I put out has gotten 75.8 thousand views. Reminder, this is Lowell Ness, the attorney for Andreessen Horowitz. He's the guy that wrote the safe harbor memo that became the Ethereum free pass.
Decentralization, and that's what the Hinman speech, which tracks my memo pretty well, has come out and said. And the Hinman speech has generally said, okay, decentralization, we think, gets both Bitcoin and Ether out of securities law status. And sort of the way I positioned it in the memo was, that's kind of like a bookend. That's like an easy.
All right. Anybody who's been following this channel knows that these guys literally went into a room and said, let's create some BS where we can rationalize Ethereum, the SEC not calling Ethereum a security.
Yeah, I really do hope there's a real investigation into this. It looks like Steven Nerioff is going to be posting more and more damaging information against Ethereum. I don't know where it goes, guys, but it's something to keep on your radar. If Ethereum does, in fact, come under fire by regulators, that could definitely hurt the entire market. Obviously, a lot of things are built on Ethereum. There's a lot of layer 2 solutions built on Ethereum. There's hundreds of shit tokens built on Ethereum. So anyways, it could hurt the market. Be careful. VeChain and BCG pioneering sustainability in a $1 billion market. New partnership, talking about it. This is a great video, guys. This is a fantastic video. This talks about what is an AMM and how does it work. I thought I'd play this for you because, I'm not going to read all this because I'll probably mess up on some stuff and you guys will laugh. So let me go ahead and just play this video because it gives you exactly how to use an AMM. It breaks it all down, and it's a 4-minute video. I'll play this real quick and move on.
What is an automated market maker, AMM? Imagine a robot that's always ready to help you trade your money with others on a special online platform, the XRP Ledger's decentralized exchange. This robot doesn't need to find someone else to take the other side of your trade. It just makes the trade happen using a big pot of money it manages. How does it work? Trading. You can swap one type of money for another anytime you want, using the robot's pot of money. The robot uses a special formula to decide the swap rate, creating a pool. Anyone can create a new pot of money for two different types of assets if it doesn't exist yet, or add to an existing one. Rewards for pool creators. People who add money to the pot get special tokens as a thank you. These tokens can be used to get a share of the money in the pot back, along with some extra. Have a say in changing the robot's settings, like trading fees. Bid to get a temporary discount on trading fees. Risks and rewards. If many people are swapping money and the pot stays balanced, the people who added money to the pot earn some passive income from the fees. But if the value of the assets changes a lot, they might lose some money. More technical bits. Exchange rate. The robot adjusts the swap rate based on how much each asset has in its pot. If it has a lot of one asset, that asset becomes cheaper to swap. Trading fees. The robot charges a small fee for each swap, which goes to the people who added money to the pot. Voting on fees. People with LP tokens can vote to change the trading fee. The more tokens you have, the more your vote counts. Auction slot. There's a special feature where you can bid to get a discount on trading fees for a day. You bid with LP tokens, and if you win, then up to 4 friends pay no trading fees for 24 hours. LP tokens. These are special tokens you get for adding money to the pot. They can be traded, used to vote on fees, or redeemed to pull your money out of the pot. Deleting an AMM. If all the money gets pulled out of the pot, the robot gets deleted. But it can be recreated by adding money to the pot again. In a nutshell, an AMM is like a robot banker that helps people easily swap different types of money using a big shared pot. People who add money to the pot get special tokens and can earn fees from the swaps, but there are some risks if the market changes a lot. They can also vote on settings and bid for fee discounts. If the pot empties, the robot goes away, but can be brought back by refilling the pot. Let's look at an example. Step 1. Creating a money pot with the AMM robot. Alice creates a new money pot with a pool using the robot. She chooses 2 types of money, US dollars, USD, and XRP. She puts in 1000 USD and 10 XRP. In this example, we assume an exchange rate of $1 per XRP for easy math. Alice gets special tokens, LP tokens, from the robot as a thank you for adding money to the pot. These tokens prove she added money and can be used later to get her money back, plus some extra if the robot earns fees. Step 2. Bob makes a swap. Bob wants to swap his 100 USD for XRP. He doesn't have to wait for someone to take his offer. The robot does it instantly using the money in the pot. The robot uses a formula to decide how much XRP Bob gets for his 100 USD, ensuring it's a fair rate based on how much USD and XRP are in the pot. Step 3. Earning fees. The robot charges Bob a small fee, let's say 1%, for convenience. So Bob pays 1 USD as a fee, which stays in the pot. Now the pot has more money than it started with, which is good for Alice because she can earn that extra when she uses her LP tokens. Step 4. Alice withdraws her money. After some time, Alice decides to take her money out of the pot. Thanks to the fees the robot earned from Bob and others, the pot has grown to 1101 USD and 9 XRP. Alice uses her LP tokens to claim her share of the money in the pot. If she puts in 100% of the original money, she gets 100% of what's in the pot now, including the extra earned from fees. Step 5. Voting and discounts. Alice can also use her LP tokens to vote on things, like changing the robot's fee. And, if she wants a discount on fees, she can bid for a special 24-hour discount slot using her LP tokens. Conclusion. In this example, the AMM robot.
All right, so AMMs are coming. I can't imagine them getting voted down since they're going to be such a vital part of the XRP ecosystem. I was aware that it's a couple weeks away. It's supposed to happen in October. If a vote already happened, I didn't hear about it. But if anyone else has information on that, please let us know in the chat. There are 65 of you guys watching. I really appreciate you. Welcome. Let's learn some more about crypto. If you guys can hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. I'll give you a big hug. All right, so the bank, Cypress Demonicore, guys, does a really great job about posting some amazing information. Please give him a follow. Big shout out to him. The banks are undergoing a massive transformation, restructuring the whole entire financial ecosystem to run in parallel with blockchain DLT rails, and barely anyone knows about it. But hey, if you watch this channel, you know all about it.
To want to dabble in the technology. So it's interesting to see that we are now reaching a point where the traditional players are beginning to look under the hood of decentralized finance. And this will have a profound impact on architecture in traditional banking. So one of the questions...
All right, let's keep it going. Got a lot more to get to, guys. A lot of stuff. From ISO, a major shift in global systems will move to ISO standards. I've got a little bit of information towards the end of the chat exactly from ISO 20022.org talking about cryptocurrency and like some information I'll go over with you. It says, with rapid adoption of ISO messaging standard, a major share of global payment systems will move to the ISO standard by 2023. We talk about this. The date is November 20th. November 18th and 19th is the weekend. That is when they are going to implement it. On Monday, the 20th, it should go live. And we'll see what happens, guys. Is crypto going to be used at that time? That is the question that everybody is trying to figure out. I don't think on the 20th people are going to be going nuts and using cryptocurrency. I think it's going to take still some time to roll it out and people to get comfortable with it. But hey, I would love to be wrong, but I just don't get your hopes up for November 20th. I do think it's going to be a slow rollout. Swift standards, November. Talk about this a lot. They're talking about category 5 messages here. 1 CR common to all category 5 correct usage rule for digital assets. I think category 5, did I look this up? I think I did. What is category 5? Category 5 is securities markets. All right. So that is what category 5 messages are. Let me go back here real quick. We're right here. Okay, so it does look like category 5. The CR is about to update the usage rule that will put in place last year to segregate the transactions for digital asset from the regular transaction. The request is now to be less restrictive and allow the usage of digital assets. This will be a huge list of messages to be updated. However, as this is an update of usage rule, following the submission and approved the Swift CR SR 2022 to add fields related to digital assets and therefore the recent awareness of the industry. The request seems legitimate as the industry is preparing to receive digital asset instructions. So pretty interesting stuff. I've shown this in the past, but hey, let's. It's always good to take a look at this. Ripple and SIA. SIA is another payment network. You have R3. R3 is going to be very big in this ecosystem. So is IBM and Stellar. And you have, of course, Ripple, SIA, the network of excellence. Let me go ahead and show you this too. And this is kind of the platform, SIA, PricewaterhouseCoopers. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. You have your applications up here, you have your platforms, and then you have your infrastructure down here, Amazon, Azure, SIA Chain, and then Swift, and then of course Ripple here. So we'll have to see, we'll have to see how this all rolls out. This is from Riz XRP, Ripple XRP, JP Morgan, Onyx Coin. The trust factor comes from transparency. Let me go ahead and play this. JP Morgan executives confirmed that they will process 10 trillion every night. That's huge, right? Citibank does, I think, 12 trillion. And I mean, between Citi and JP Morgan, you have $22 trillion being settled a day. That is a lot of money. And I mean, they can't do it all, through Onyx coin, right? It's not all going to be siloed block, Onyx, without being able to connect to other layer ones, it will just be another siloed system. So all of this stuff is going to have to be interoperable with each other. Let me go ahead and play this. We'll move on.
Ripple XRP is going to completely disrupt the financial sector. People have no idea what's coming. Listen to this. Since Onyx was established in 2020, the digital assets platform has also facilitated intra-repurchase or repo transactions in order to provide short-term borrowing, fixed, etc. But if you guys remember, back in 2020, when they first started this, JP Morgan executes intraday repo transactions using blockchain, December 10th, 2020. And then they were going to use the JPM coin to facilitate the payments in exchange for collateral, which is not going to work. The JPM coin is poo, along with the Citi coin.
Clients don't want, individual bank tokens. They want multi-token, multi-border liquidity for added efficiencies.
You don't have interoperability with these systems. You need all these systems to communicate, and Ripple and XRP are the best ones to do it.
All right, let's keep it going. All right, this is from Flip of the Chain. Bitso using ODL has a game changer. Once you test it, I'm the biggest fan, ODL. All right, let me go ahead and play this.
And using ODL for me as a customer has been game changer. Once you test it, I always say that I'm the biggest fan of ODL because nobody's telling me these stories. Like, I've done that myself and I've been benefited from it. You see the two screens and you see how money travels so fast, and then within the minute you have the money that you want to transfer, that you were used to transferring in a week-long process, and now it costs you cents on the dollar, and it's so immediate. So from a customer perspective, it has been a wonderful experience. And for us, the partnership with Ripple, from the business perspective, is just so important, and it's such a key part of our business today. And we are truly thinking of expanding together into the region. And using ODL for me as a customer has been game changer.
All right, let me keep it going. Sorry, I was trying to answer a question from Nomad. I think you're talking about Jeremy Allaire, Nomad. And so, yes, USDC is going to be a major player. I mean, you see people like Christine Lagarde talking about Circle, USDC, and they're talking about Ripple being disruptors in the industry. She's very familiar with those people. It's going to be interesting to see what the ECB does. They were supposed to announce this month what they were going to do as far as the CBDC goes, and what, maybe what technology they're going to choose, but we'll have to see what plays out. Welcome. So this is pleased to welcome the latest pioneering company, Next Gen FDI program, Fluent DAO deposit tokens, a bank-supported cryptocurrency for instant risk-free cross-border payments that can support the UAE's trade tech ambitions. This looks like Impel, and so this is going to be on XDC. All right, let's keep it going here. A neutral bridge asset. USA has too much gold. USA has I think they have about $600 billion in gold in like Fort Knox. Some people say that there's nothing in Fort Knox. Some people say that there's more, but I think the number is right around $600 billion on today's gold prices.
And import it from elsewhere to run more deficits to supply the dollars. That's what we do. So if we're actually bringing stuff back, relocalizing, that means the global system is changing. That means the global monetary system is changing. And if that is going to continue to happen, you have to have a neutral reserve asset. You can't have both treasuries be the primary global reserve asset, which means treasuries remain the biggest export of the United States, and reshore. If you want to reshore, you have to move to a neutral reserve asset. This is understood at certain levels in Washington, and that's why I say, to the extent it is in the interest of the U.S. defense industrial base that has been hollowed out, and to relocalize in supply chains, there are interests that understand that a higher price of gold is not necessarily against U.S. interests the way it was for a long time.
All right, well, let's see what happens with gold. A lot of people think gold's going to be revalued. We'll have to see how this plays out. Eleanor Terra posted this. Oversight Committee Chairman Representative James Comer threatened subpoena power over Gary Gensler in the SEC in his latest letter. Comer cites Section 24G of the Securities Exchange Act, which says nothing authorizes the commission to withhold information from Congress. Basically, what you have here, guys, just to kind of catch you up if you're not familiar with U.S. politics and what's going on with the SEC, the SEC is, the Congress has asked the SEC for a lot of documents. The SEC has failed to produce those documents. Now they're threatening to subpoena Gary Gensler, which would force him under oath to testify and answer questions. If he doesn't, he could be held in contempt of Congress. I don't know what would happen at that point. It would be pretty interesting, but that is kind of what is happening here. I'm not going to read you this whole document. I'll put you to sleep and everybody will leave. So Eleanor Terra poses this. What is tokenized cobalt? It's a concept that aims to revolutionize Africa's cobalt supply chains and their global impact using blockchain technology. I'm not going to read all of this to you guys because it really, it has something to do with crypto, but we don't really need to learn too much about cobalt. But what I wanted to talk with you about really quickly here is think about all of the other rare earth materials that are around the world that, go into making batteries for electric cars, for instance. All of that can be tokenized, and you can digitize that supply chain as well, right? And so if you have those mines or places where they're produced, that could be tokenized, and then that value could live on chain. So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was interesting. If you want to go ahead and look at this whole document, please go to Molly Elmore's post here at Molly Elmore 22. Make sure you're on the right one because there are some scammers out there. Okay. From Cybos, banks are aligned in working on directions of regulators for faster payments. NPA UK Director Shane Warman, Bank of England guiding NPA. We know Bank of England is working not with just Quant, but also with Ripple. I've shown that a lot of times on this channel. Remember, guys, Quant really is like the network of networks. It's interoperable with everything. You can have a Quant back end and use XRP for settlement. They work very well together, and I do think you're going to get a nice mixture of these projects working together for multiple solutions for these central banks, right? Let me play this.
Let's start off with something simple. Just explain to us what the MPA will do and what its benefits are.
So, look, the MPA is a payment system in the UK. The UK was the first country to have a real-time payment solution. That was about 2008. It needed to be updated. There was a process that was run a number of years ago, about 8 years ago, with the regulators, where they identified a number of changes that need to be made to it to modernize it. And one of those things that the way in order to deliver that, they decided the best way to do that would be to effectively build a new system. So that's what it is. It's a part of the wider payment. It underpins the payments ecosystem in the UK.
So why is Pay.UK doing this now? And why is the MPA needed, would you say?
Well, the reason why we're doing it now is because the regulators have told us we have to. So that's the case for change. And it is the right thing to do. So
the regulators have told them it's time, okay? You don't hear that often, right? Where regulators are saying, hey, we need to move to this new system. Part of the reason I think we're moving to this new system is you're seeing quantum computers coming online and they're going to be sold. And when you have quantum computers, if you already hear stories about the SWIFT system being hacked by some certain groups. Think about if they get their hands on a quantum computer, what kind of damage they can do. So moving value through blockchain is going to be a lot more secure for these systems than using this old system, and that's why you're getting this great push and rush. And also too, right, it's kind of time to have a modernized payment system, right? We're using this antiquated 40-50-year-old system that just it doesn't work too well. Yes, the messages get there very quickly, but there's still friction in moving that value from bank to bank, and that's really where DLT and crypto can shine and help.
As I said, the faster payments, which is the name of the current real-time payment solution in the UK, is about 18 years old, or 15 to 18 years old. When it was, the world has changed. The world has changed. We've moved to ISO as a messaging standard. It doesn't support ISO. If you look at the growth in volumes, we need a faster solution. We need something that supports interoperability globally. So that's why it's happening now. Now is the right time to make the change, to create the system of the future.
So what are the
now is the right time to make a change. Payment systems of the future. I love it. This is kind of magic, and this is the type of stuff that you want to hear. I showed this in last Sensei Chat, but this is actually a video. You can see blockchain products here. There's actually a video going through this. I want to play this. So this is, looks like a Swift system or a payment system back end, having now blockchain payments. They're opening this up here. Buyer, seller. Yeah, down here is parties, liability, settlement details, settlement bookings, completion, messages, and attached. I love that somebody actually went in here and did all this. This is pretty cool. Now they're down here. Hey, Nomad, do you want to post that video in the chat? How long is the video? If it's not too long, I'll play it. I will play it. It is a horrible UI. It is a really bad UI. I mean, this UI looks like it's from 1990 or something, or 89. Like it's pretty bad. It's quite terrible. Anyways, yeah, they need to update this. And then I played this last time. You know, actually, I'm not gonna play this time. It's this guy works for a different company. It's not even connected to Swift. He was just there. He knows about Ripple. There's really no point to play it. Besides stealing FTX customer money, Ellison said FTX bribed the Chinese government with $100 million to unlock a larger asset. They had $1 billion frozen by the Chinese government, and they were trying to pay bribes to get the money unlocked. I mean, scandalous. I don't really want to read all that. No, you know what? Is FTX trial catch up? I've been posting updates in the Cryptonaires Discord. If you've been following along, I mean, it's just crazy. You know, this is kind of connecting all of the money and where all the money went to officers. The CCP shows up on chain Huobi 33. If you guys want to go ahead and take a look at this yourself, you want to go to Truth Labs and kind of read through this. But he basically makes all the connections here of where this money was going, and it's kind of nefarious, very nefarious. Dan Arway, professor of Cornell Law School. America has a slow and costly payment system because of lack of regulation. And then let me go ahead and play this. We'll talk about
we're not doing well on either count at this point. And we can look at that domestically. So we can look at the costs of payments in the United States, where for a very developed country with a world-class financial system, we pay more for payments. And especially poor people pay more for payments than they do in other countries. On the other side of the ledger, we also have, relative to many of our peers in the G20 and the G8 and many emerging markets, not really invested in the governance of payments. So if you look to Australia, if you look to Brazil, Singapore, China, the United Kingdom, even the EU, that paragon of good governance when it comes to financial markets, they have invested more in building the infrastructure from a policy perspective to take advantage of all the technological change that's going on. So I would say we're not doing great. There are roadmaps for doing better. And I think one of the exciting things today is to have the discussion about which sort of lessons we can take from those roadmaps as we move forward.
Guys, and remember, when you're talking about CBDCs, you're never going to have an account with the Federal Reserve or whatever central bank. It's always going to be through the bank. The bank's going to have an account with the Federal Reserve. All right. A lot of people get that kind of misconception that the federal government's going to block my transactions. It'll be the bank that does, not the federal government. All right. Those are keeping track. We need to talk about this because, the U.S. does affect other countries when people in the U.S. don't have extra money to spend on things that are maybe imported and created and brought to America, or spend money on Cryptonaires memberships or whatever people spend their money on. Okay, check this out. For those keeping track, the U.S. debt has jumped another $40 billion in one day. Can you imagine 40 billion? I mean, we could have a huge party for an entire year with $40 billion. I mean, like, we could just go crazy. Now that's 33.55 trillion. I feel like last time we spoke about this, it was 33.4, and that was last week. The federal debt, just in 25 days after it hit a record 33 trillion. So guys, in 25 days, it went up another $500 billion. That is crazy. At this current pace, the U.S. will add $1 trillion in federal debt every 45 days. Wow. Since 2008, the federal debt has added $24 trillion. So at what point does the system break? And at what point does the system need to be reset, right? You can't keep going like this because you just can't. You're printing money into infinity, right? You just can't do it. You look at other economies like China. China has printed twice as much money as the U.S. has, pretty much. And I mean, their economy is on the verge of collapse right now. So, you have to just understand that sooner or later they're going to have to do something, and that is why a lot of people are calling for a global reset of the financial system, and that could be what they try to do here. Now, you still need to, even if you reset the system, right, you would still need to pay back, because a lot of this money is in people's like IRAs and 401ks and all that stuff, right? So this is a lot of this money is the people's money. So how do you fix that? That is really the question that we need to be kind of trying to keep an eye on and trying to figure out. But median monthly rent price in the U.S. hits a record of $2,000 per month. I wish my rent was $2,000 a month. I've never lived in a place that it was $2,000 a month, but it's all good. Median monthly rent prices of 6% since January. So they continue to push higher. What this means, guys, is people have less money to spend on regular items, right? Food, gas, going down to the mall and buying some shoes or some, whatever it is that people will spend their money on. As the latest CPI report, shelter inflation in the U.S. is now at 7.2%. At $2,052 monthly, the median renter is now paying $24,000 a year for rent. That's 35% of the median pre-tax household income, building any equity in a home. So, people don't have money to spend right now in the U.S. Like, it's getting bad. We're over $1 trillion in credit card debt in the U.S. Here's some numbers here. The CPI inflation is now at 3.7%. Inflation is much higher in basic necessities. Car insurance is up almost 20% at 18.9. Car repair inflation up 10%. This is a lot of this is supply chain issues, right? Because they can't get the parts, and when they do, they mark them up a bit. Transportational inflation's up 10% almost. Rent inflation 7.4. Homeowner inflation 7.1. Food away from home inflation 6%. Meat and poultry is 4.8%. Guys, things are getting more and more expensive. People aren't making as much money. Home price income ratios are skyrocketing in the world's major cities. In Shanghai, home price to income ratios cross 50x. China now has 5 cities with home prices to income ratios above 30x. Even in New York City, the price to income ratio just hit 10x. Living in major cities has become incredibly expensive. And here you can see Shanghai, Shenzhen. I was just in Shenzhen, I think, when I went to those factories. I think it was Shenzhen. Hong Kong. You have, I'm not even going to say that, but a lot of these cities, Beijing, Mumbai, it's getting more and more expensive to live in these bigger cities, guys. In 2023 so far, we have seen a total of 516 corporate bankruptcies. This is roughly due to the year-to-date total in 2022 and 39% more than the entire count of 2022, right? And we still have to get through October, November, and December. These numbers are going to go up, guys. What you're seeing here is you're having businesses that cannot afford to, when you have a business and you have some of these office buildings and spaces, some of these loans are balloon loans. A balloon loan is where you're basically just paying interest every month, and then at the end you have a balloon payment. That's why it's called a balloon loan. And what companies do is they just keep refinancing the loan and kind of kicking the can down the road. But when you have $1.5 trillion coming up in these loans, people cannot afford to pay 2 to 3x what they were paying before, and this is what you're seeing. You're seeing a massive amount of bankruptcy. So 70% of these loans are at regional banks. So my question to you is, do you think more regional banks are going to fail? If the answer is yes, then you are right, and you're going to see it. Watch. September CPI inflation is above 3.7%. Expectations was 3.6. So right now inflation is sticky. Core CPI inflation is at 4%. Economists are saying that it's going to take twice as long to get to 2% than it did from 9% down to this 4% figure. So this kind of puts the government in the U.S. and probably governments around the world that are still dealing with this inflation problem that they can't print money at this time, or if they do print money, it is going to really take inflation to the next level. So you're going to see higher rates for a higher longer of time. And then you have the U.S. is the third largest deficit on record in 2023, spending 1.7 trillion more than it brought in. So basically, what this is saying, guys, is tax revenue brings in anywhere from like $4 to $5 trillion a year. They're spending 1.7 trillion over that, and that is why you have this deficit. This was 300 billion increase in deficit spending compared to 2022. All right, let's keep it going. Quant announces a new central bank grade blockchain key management solution used in Project Rosalind, the CBDC trial steered by the Bank of England and the Bank of International Settlements, guys. That is really great news, guys. Quant has a lower supply than Bitcoin. Quant is like 14 million and some change tokens. I definitely want to take a look at that. I'm going to get to the chat here in just a second, guys, when I play another video. Ripple calling all builders. We have open roles in senior blockchain developer at Medico, financing manager at Medico, and staff technical writer at Medico. So if you have these skills, man, I would love to work for Ripple, the company, or one of their companies that they bought, Medico. If you're one of these people, hey, fill out this. Go to the Ripple website and get a good job. All right. Swift website, November 2023, rich data usage, ISO website, cryptocurrency will be transported. I'm going to show you this later on in the chat here, but I just want to show you this. This is what they're talking about, November 2023, rich data messaging. This is actually from the ISO website, ISO20022.org. I guess I can just read the highlights here. ISO standard messaging, digital token identifier. We talk about this a lot. This is ISO 24165. You can go to the DTI website and look up your favorite tokens and see if they're there. And it says, can I indicate cryptocurrencies in the new ISO messages? Yes, cryptocurrencies can be transported, the data content in ISO messages, but are not validated. Today, fiat currencies, Euro, USD, etc., are used in the messages and validated against ISO 4217. Cryptocurrency validation will be implemented in the future version of ISO messages. I don't know what that means as far as timeline goes, what they're talking about. I wish they would give us a little bit more information on this, but it says, can a blockchain company be ISO compliant? Yes, it's worth noting that some cryptocurrency exchanges and payment processors may implement ISO compliance for their internal processes or interactions with traditional finance systems, such as banks and payment networks, to facilitate interoperability and compatibility with existing financial infrastructure. All right. I thought this was interesting. Vara halts Islamic coin issuance, putting board Gen DMCC in jeopardy. I did a video about this, guys. It is looking pretty scumbaggy, to be honest with you. They didn't even apply for a license because they knew they would get denied. The Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority has issued a critical alert to investors and market participants concerning the unauthorized issuance, marketing, and retail distribution of the Islamic coin within from the Emirate of Dubai by board Gen DMCC. This company is owned by Alex and Andre, who are two of the co-founders of the project. They are the ones that are doing the private sale on Republic. That's been shut down. That goes to the SEC. The SEC is going to take a look at it, and I think people are probably going to get their money back here from Republic. I don't think they're going to be able to distribute these tokens. This is a proof of stake network. They're in Dubai, and Dubai's kind of shutting them down here. This is not good for the ecosystem. Also, I went and researched, and Jason did a lot of research too. Big shout out to JP. We researched and tried to find any comment from the executive board, who are supposed to be the royal family. We went through the executive board, the Sharia board. I've never been able to find a comment from one of those people about Islamic coin. So I don't know. Do they have these people backing up this project? If so, why aren't they coming out and speaking up? There was also a huge issue with Islamic coin and their airdrop. A lot of people got screwed over or only got like 100 tokens, and it's just kind of a mess right now in their Discord. So I'll be doing a follow-up video with this, and it's pretty bad. All right. Hamas link crypto accounts frozen by Israeli police within Binance. All right, let's play this, or let's talk about this. Israeli police have frozen cryptocurrency accounts linked to Palestine militant groups. Hamas local media outlet reported on Tuesday, citing the official press statement. A multi-pronged attack by Israel by Hamas over the weekend has broken into an all-out war. I do feel for people on both sides. There are regular people that are getting hurt and dying. This is a very rough situation. Whoever you support, nobody wins in war, guys. It is pretty bad. The only people that actually win in wars are the people that are making the manufacturers and the bombs. That's really the only person that wins in these situations. The cyber arm of Israeli police, Lahav, I probably messed that up, 433 unit worked with the country's defense ministry, intelligence agencies, and crypto exchange Binance to target the accounts in question, according to the report. It added that any funds seized and destined for the Israeli national treasury. So it looks like some of these militant groups were using Binance to launder money. And now that money is being seized and it's going to be sent to the Israeli national treasury. Oh, shoot. Didn't want to do that. Excuse me. The lawsuit filed against Binance's CEO, CZ, and the U.S. Commodities Futures and Trading Commission in March alleges that the firm officers knew Hamas transactions. So basically what you have here is they knew some bad stuff was going on in their exchange, and they really didn't do anything about it. So CZ, I think it hurts me to say this, and I could be absolutely wrong about this. You could see a day where Binance gets shut down. Like, that very well could happen. There's also an issue in Brazil that I'm going to show you here just in a little bit. But CZ is at the heart of all of this. And I don't think it's going to be good for Binance in the long run, okay? Israeli authorities have previously seized around 190 accounts with alleged links to terrorist groups since 2021. Binance worked with Israeli authorities before to take down the terrorism financing operation linked to Iran's Quds Force and Hezbollah. Man, this is crazy. Binance has got some trouble here coming. And Binance freezes all accounts suspected linked to Hamas. You're also having this. If you're still confused what happened today, just read the Department of Treasury has to say about Hamas. Also, Binance enabled money laundering for Hamas and Russia in Binance versus CFTC in page 33 of the lawsuit. Let's just go ahead and take a look at what this says. It says, internally, Binance officers, employees, and agents have acknowledged that Binance platform has facilitated potential illegal activities. This is why I think Binance could get shut down, okay? I could be wrong, but just be careful. For example, in February 2019, after receiving information regarding Hamas transactions on Binance, Lim explained to a colleague that terrorists usually send small sums as large sums constitute money laundering. Lim's colleague replied, you can barely buy an AK-47 with $600. And with regard to a certain Binance customers, including customers from Russia. Lim acknowledged in February 2020 chat, he says, come on, there are here for crime. Binance's MLRO agreed. He says, we see the bad, but we close two eyes. It's not really good English or proper English, but they knew this was happening and they didn't do anything about it. That is a problem. Okay, so just if you have a bunch of money on Binance, just be careful. You never know with these exchanges. This could be a huge black swan event, guys. But hey, my job is to prepare you with information. Your job is to take the information and do your own due diligence. Just be careful. And then Binance freezes accounts in the Middle East. Okay, so it's crazy stuff what's happening right now. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing in the market. You're seeing some people pull back. Anyways, largest armies in the world ranked by military personnel: China, India, United States, North Korea, Russia. I just thought this was kind of helpful. All right, let's keep going. Ooh, let me just refresh some of these. I do apologize. I build chats over 2 or 3 days, and sometimes I have to refresh Twitter messages. All right. So Stuart Alderati is talking about Ripple gets fully licensed to offer crypto payment services in Singapore. I'm going to play this and answer some of your questions here in the chat.
Is not a security, and obviously there's been a lot of contention in the United States. Even though you do a lot of business outside, if you could have more reason to do business in the United States, it would be, I would assume, exponentially more great for Ripple. In terms of the legislative environment right now that we are seeing, I suppose the cross activity, no real determination as to what's what. Legislators don't seem to be able to agree, and now all of this coming at a time where we don't even have a Speaker of the House. Do you foresee any kind of clarity coming in any kind of short order for cryptocurrencies, for the likes of Ripple, for anyone within the industry, or is it something that's just going to have to be put on the back burner until perhaps the presidential cycle is complete?
Yeah. So what the sticker says is that XRP is not a security, not that Ripple is not a security. Ripple uses the digital token XRP in its tech stack. Other developers develop on the decentralized XRP ledger blockchain. We own XRP as a digital asset. We own a portion of it, but we don't control it. But to get to your question, outside of the US, in regions like Singapore, in the UK, in the EU, in Dubai, in Brazil, in Australia, in Japan, I can name others, what we have is rational regulatory frameworks that are not looking to push out this innovation, but are looking to say, hey, look, if you want to come into our country and you want to develop this innovation, you can do it, so long as you satisfy our rigorous regulatory regime. In the U.S., unfortunately, we have lost our way. And we've lost our way because we have politics and power being elevated over sound policy, meaning we have certain agencies who are fighting over who is going to get to control, from a regulatory perspective, the technology, rather than satisfy what is the right policy outcome, which I think the licensing framework that we see in it and the Monetary Authority of Singapore pursuing a proper policy outcome through a licensing framework. So right now, unfortunately, in the U.S., the issue of how to label a digital payment token properly, whether you label it as a utility token, a payment token, a security token, that's not left to a regulator and a rational regulatory framework. It's that issue is now being fought in the courts. And Ripple has been on the forefront of that fight with the Securities and Exchange Commission here in the U.S. We have been defending the issue of whether XRP, again, the digital token that we use in our tech stack to enable our customers to benefit from our products, whether that should be classified as a security or it should be classified as a commodity or a virtual currency. We won that issue. We won that issue on July 13th. So hence the sticker XRP is not security, which I think gives XRP clarity in the U.S., and XRP as a digital token is now uniquely classified as a non-security in the U.S. But we don't think, even though we won in the courts, we don't think that these issues should be fought token by token, case by case, judge by judge. We think we need a rational regulatory framework. But to your question, although we have some policymakers in the U.S. trying to take the lead to...
All right, hold on. So you want me to play 24... You want to play this video from 24 Hours Crypto. 24HR. There you go. Let me get this video. This is the video you want to play. Got it.
Obviously incredibly important for the crypto industry, right? I mean, it is, in my sense, pretty much the killer app of sort of retail crypto, because it does solve the key problem of moving money and moving money quickly and cheaply. I think this sort of thesis still needs to be played out, but I think where USDC is going to hit a cap is going to be at scale. So when I talk about the $10 trillion that we're processing every night, and I was looking this morning, I think the market, the 24-hour volume for both USDC and USDT is like $25 billion or something. That's like 400 times less than what we do every day. And if you think about having to fully reserve $10 trillion to be able to make those payments every day, that's a lot of liquidity that you're taking out of the system.
This problem, and I think we're really close. I mean, USDC itself
we've seen over $3.5 trillion of transactions directly on the internet between counterparties. And so if we can, improve it with more scalable blockchain technologies like, Brad's company provides, more scalable blockchain technologies like, Brad's company provides.
So I think that USDC has, 100% a place to play.
Spicy.
I don't know that in its current construct, it can play at the institutional level.
Clients don't want, individual bank tokens. They want multi-token.
All right, we don't need to play this. That was spicy, man. Yeah, guys, there's a lot of value that needs to be moved around the world. Just some of these banks, 10 trillion, 12 trillion. FX market is 7.5 trillion. The DTCC and R3, that's 2.5 quadrillion. There's so much value that needs to be moved around. And some of these blockchains, like your XRPs, like your XLMs, like your XCCs, they're going to get some of that value. And we don't really know what is going to happen to the price of this token when that happens. The question that everyone's trying to figure out is, when is that going to take place? Now, the financial infrastructure for this new wave of innovation is here, right? They're implementing it in November with ISO messaging, right? That is where you can attach crypto to that payment and have instant settlement. Now, do they start using it right away? Is it going to take time? That is the question we're trying to solve and trying to figure out. But thank you for sharing. This is a great video. Is there more juiciness in here, or is it just Ryan Rugg? Yeah, here, let me play this on this back end here. I didn't need to play the Ryan Rugg thing from Citibank. Let me go ahead and just, there you go. Oh, my dog's trying to be bossy right now. Hold on. Let me play this. I got too much stuff on my laptop, I think. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Twitter hates me too. All right, hold on. Let me go back here.
Blockchain tech.
100 institutions.
It's a lot of money that is being put in terms of trying to solve these technical issues of interoperability. Now, the second one is more complicated. It has to do with liquidity. So imagine that you have a pair of currencies for which there is not a complementary demand. You need to go and search for a third-party currency in order to make this settlement actually happen. And this really complicates things. So we need to put pieces of technology that can make more efficiency this use of liquidity so that more transactions can be settled.
We started building RippleNet with
AMMs are going to help out with some liquidity too, guys. That plays a key role. You're going to need hooks. You're going to need Evernote for smart contract functionality. All this stuff kind of comes together, okay? All right, so November 19th, major regulatory changes come effective globally. Regulatory changes will become effective globally on November 19th. Swift Interbank, Swift Score, DTA, Bolero, a lot of stuff happening on that date. XRP Ledger has reached 83 million ledgers, underscoring its valuation as a smart contracts hub. Ripple is expanding globally with a focus in the MENA region. Sologenic is contributing to its mission of attracting institutional investors. All right. And then this is from Jason Williams. Michael Saylor says a spot Bitcoin ETF will 10x to 100x the price of Bitcoin. That's 270 grand to 2.7 million per Bitcoin. I am all for this. More value in Bitcoin means more profits taken, means more money put into altcoins and others. I think this is going to be really, really good for the entire crypto market. I think it really is going to play out. Here you go. Binance braces as Brazil urges crypto scam indictments. This guy is at the center of a lot of scandals. I think CZ goes into hiding sooner or later. A Brazilian congressional committee is recommending the indictment of 3 Binance executives. The executives include CZ himself, Brazil's general director, Guilherme Haddad Nazar, the Latin Institutional Relations Director, and Daniel Magbrea. It is important to note, though, that while the committees can make suggestions on indictments, it's up to the Brazilian police to move forward. Man, I bet you ZZ is like, who do I bribe to make this go away in Brazil, right? If the police do decide to move forward, the executives could face charges related to fraudulent management and operating a financial institution without authorizing and a crime against the national finance system, per translated article. Why my question here. Sorry, Luna, go lay down, baby. You're okay. Go lay down. I'll be done soon. When you see this, guys, what do you think? I mean, CZ is facing pressure now. All over the world, pretty much, right? The U.S. is looking at him. Brazil's looking at him. Now you have this problem, in Israel and in the Middle East funding terrorism. I really do think this could be a black swan event. So just be prepared. I did warn people about like Celsius, FTX before all that stuff did go down. This feels uncomfortable for me because I know Binance does multiple billions of dollars a day in trading. Without Binance, the market would suffer. So I am not rooting for Binance to go down in any way, shape, or form because that would hurt all of us. But I just want you to be prepared if something does happen, okay? Casper Network, zero knowledge proofs. Why should you care? The ZK proofs, it is possible to validate a statement without the need to reveal any additional information beyond the statement itself. Implementing zero knowledge proofs will improve Casper's blockchain privacy, security, scalability. The OddRadDev project is one such example that has open sourced its code to encourage further exploration around ZK proofs on Casper. Casper Labs is one of the only blockchains that I know of. There could be others, so don't shoot the messenger here, but they have upgradable smart contracts. I do think upgradable smart contracts are very, very big as far as institutions and businesses. Think about it. If you have a business, you write a smart contract, a couple years go by, and you need to make updates and do different things, if you're able to go back in and make those updates in the smart contract, you might be able to save a lot of money than kind of redeploying something. I think we've all been a part of a project that had to redeploy a token because of mistakes or issues, and a lot of people left that community because they just didn't feel like the devs knew what they were doing. I've seen it a lot with new crypto projects. So anyways, Casper Labs, great project in my eyes. I think they're going to have a great future. We are in a bear market. They've been building a lot of things behind the scenes. All right, let's go ahead and play this. Flash Payments CEO Nicolas Steiger, Australia consumers are asking what are the Ripple ODL currency destinations that are open and what are the next ones. So basically, these are ways to send money to different places around the world. And this guy's 38 seconds. Let me play this.
Our customers, even this morning after all the announcement and everything, is kind of, how many ODL currency destinations are open, what are the next ones, and they can't wait. That these are consumers, these are business. We have other third-party, banks or payment gateways. It's kind of look, yes, we want this solution. Let's open up more ODL destinations as soon as possible, because that's really going to be the difference for us in competing with an existing market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our customers.
All right, let's keep it going. A lot more to get to, guys. Let me see. A lot more to get to. These Sensei chats, guys, are packed with information. The reason I do these chats is because they save you time. You might not have 10 hours a day to spend on crypto information. I do these chats for CryptoNerds members. Some of these chats I make public for everybody. It's great to see over 70 people here participating. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Malaysia FinTech Report, October 2023. Trenglo connects your business to the world via Ripple ODL. 11 million transactions in 2022, over $3 billion processed, 80% real-time payments, bridging financial borders across 70 countries, guys. This is how Ripple connects to 95% of the FX market with these partnerships. The D-Money. There's you could go through a whole list. I think they have 20 or 30 of them by now. But as Ripple keeps expanding and they keep buying different companies or partnering with different companies, they are all going to use this technology. And this is really, why I do think Ripple is one of the companies in the fintech space that could be just massive. I think Ripple, the company, could in fact one day be as big as Apple is, right? Because you have to imagine if these guys do kind of get to a point where we think they can get, and they start moving trillions of dollars a day, what do you think the company's evaluation is going to be at that point, right? Like, how important would Ripple be to the world, not just the United States, but the world, in fact, if they start moving a lot of the world's value, right? It's unthinkable, and this is why, bought some Ripple stock. I do think like that's going to at least 5-10x hopefully over the next couple of years. And I'm a really big believer in the company and what they got going on here. Not going to get into this. This is about Vitalik Buterin and Ethereum again. I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen with Ethereum, guys. There's a lot of information coming out about Ethereum and China whales. I'll read a little bit. It says, I'm in the belief that greater than 66% of all ETH tokens minted pre-merge this block on Ethereum ended up in wallets owned by entities backed by China and the CCP. They're the same entities were Ethereum's largest pre-sale ICO backers and funded the foundation through Wanjing blockchain. Okay. The majority of protocols, centralized exchanges, DEXs, NFT projects, altcoins, shitcoins, stablecoins, layer 2s, casinos are all built and funded by these exact same entities. On the top of all this, much of the crypto stolen from protocols ended up flowing through wallets many of them own. So guys, if you want to learn more about this guy posts a lot of, or this guy or gal, I don't know, posts a lot of really good information. Go ahead and take a look at that and make your own decisions on what you want to do with that. Taking place right now, they are calling this the Great Pivot. First they laugh, anyways, then they adopt it. Yes. 49th International Trade and Forfeiting Conference, the ITFA, digital negotiable instruments and digital assets defining the future of trade finance, new laws around negotiable instruments and embracing advanced technologies. Cyberstate Monocore does a lot of great posting here. What we call the Great Pivot, right? Or the Great Reset. Everything is moving to this new system. Okay, keep it going. SOMA, the Federal Reserve's purchases. The Fed conducts open market operations such as buying and selling U.S. Treasury securities to influence the money supply. By halting SOMA 2 auctions in a row, they're indirectly reducing liquidity in the banking system, guys. This is a problem too, right? This is a problem too. Let's keep it going. JP Morgan needs to make JP Morgan look good tomorrow. His little brother BlackRock will help him. BlackRock, I think, is a bigger, I think isn't BlackRock bigger than No, I don't know. JP Morgan's got what, 3 to 5 trillion under assets. BlackRock has more than that, right? I'm pretty sure they do. Anyways. Friday, this is before open. JP Morgan Chase, United Healthcare, Citibank, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, Progressive, PNC. This is most anticipated earnings releases October 2023. We'll have to see how all this turns out. Keep it going. Quant. Most banks' key management systems are unsustainable for blockchain. Overledger Authorize, which we launched this week, addresses this issue by integrating with existing enterprise key management systems. Okay, this is the most important sentence right here. Addresses this issue by integrating with existing enterprise key management systems. You have to be, so all of this new technology that's being built out, it has to work and connect with the Web 2 ecosystem, right? With these older systems. They can't just go full blast on the new system. Everything has to just move slowly from this older system to the new system. That's why you have both rails kind of going at the same time right now. And they're going to run for the next couple years to make sure there's no problems, okay? But that's why Quant is such a vital, important step. It says just another step to make blockchain simple, trusted, and future-proof. I love this. Let me play this for you guys.
Banks and payment companies are exploring digital currencies to increase access to financial services whilst automating processes and lowering costs. Effective management of cryptographic keys and transaction signing is essential for authorization of blockchain transactions. But it remains a challenge. Existing key management solutions were not built for blockchain. Many lack the security and utility at scale needed to support millions of customers and billions of transactions. Overledger Authorize from Quant provides central bank grade key management for large-scale authorizations on multiple networks. Using flexible APIs, Authorize integrates with existing identity management, anti-fraud engines and AI models to authenticate and sign transaction requests. Keys can be generated and stored automatically in proprietary or third-party vaults. Once signed, transactions are passed to any supporting blockchain through Overledger, allowing seamless payments, transfers, and other transactions to major blockchains. Developers no longer need to code specific cryptographic interfaces to connect every blockchain and key store to every internal system. Authorize does it all. With Overledger Authorize, financial institutions and developers can securely overcome the hurdles of key management and bring authentication to the blockchain era. Talk to us and discover Authorize for your business.
Man, so one day Quant is going to be a 5-digit token, right? I mean, if you think like I think that Quant is really the network of networks and is interoperable with all this stuff, if you think that, imagine, right? If it just had the same market cap as what Bitcoin has right now, which is like $500 billion, that would put Quant at like, I think like $30,000 or $40,000 per token. It really is something that I think is gonna be massive. And then here's just the article about Authorize. I don't need to read the article to you. We just watched the video, but just a lot of stuff happening. David Schwartz, tokenization on XRP Ledger shall start in a year and a half. Real world. Here are the claps. I can't remember what this is, when he recorded this. I do apologize. I know this is posted October 13th. I don't think this is brand new, but let me play this.
I'm hoping that we're going to see, as real world asset tokenization projects grow, I think the XRP Ledger is going to be a really good platform for them to launch on, particularly because of the low fees and because of the integration with the DEX, with the proximity to sort of the movement of funds. The ability, if someone's going to buy, what do you want to do with a real world tokenized asset? You want to buy it, you want to sell it, you want to hold it, you want to transfer it. And if you want to buy it and sell it, you want to be able to do that with whatever asset is convenient for you. You don't want to tie, if you tokenize some sort of debt, like you don't want to tie it to US dollars, because then that limits access to it to people who have sort of proximity to US dollars. One of the things the XRP Ledger is good for is giving you sort of proximity to many different assets, and that exchange is seamlessly built in. So I think that's one of the many reasons why the XRP Ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real world assets. I think we'll see that in the next year and a half.
Cool. All right, guys, understand this. There's $307 trillion in global debt. I just wanted to show, let me see, CoinGecko. Let's go CoinGecko real quick. So we're talking about Quant right now, and a lot of people are like, that's a high price for Quant. Let me just show you this. Where is it? Compare coins. Let me show you this. So we're going to compare Quant. I might be doing this backwards. I could be doing this backwards. There you go. $36,000 a token. If Quant gets to the same market cap as Bitcoin is right now today, it would be $36,000 a token. All right. There you go. Just wanted to go over that with you, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's a high price. It's a high price, but I think it can get there. I definitely think it can get there. Let's see where we're right here. Okay. Day 85, Friday the 13th, U.S. citizens are valued at 589. I thought this was funny. I know there's some of us, look at the conspiracy side of XRP and a lot of the stuff that happens behind there, with Mr. Pool and all that stuff. But 589 is a funny number. And so, anyways, here it is, 589. All right. That didn't load. Awesome. Let's keep it going. This is kind of me doing a little bit of research in between. Microbranch posted this. UBRI success steward. It says Alderati applauds global impact of Ripple blockchain research initiative. I don't need to read the article for you, but here's the article. I'm not gonna really get into it. Let's keep it going. Ethereum layer 2 scroll ZKP appears to have launched its mainnet ZK rollup, according to on-chain data. I don't know if this is something that you want to track or go research yourself, but a lot of layer 2 solutions that do help the Ethereum network process transactions can and will be successful. Here is the website. If you wanted to go to it, it's scroll.io. And learn about this. I'm just trying to bring some newer projects and information to you. All right. Ex-Voyager CEO is sued by the CFTC and FTC for misleading customers. You don't say. Stefan Ehrlich, former CEO of defunct crypto lender Voyager Digital, was slapped with a lawsuit by the Commodities and Future Trade Commission on Thursday for misleading the platform's customers about the safety of their assets. The complaint accuses the founder of both fraud and misrepresentation failures related to its operation of unregistered commodity pool, a classification the CFTC believes applies to many cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Ehrlich and Voyager falsely touted the Voyager platform as a safe haven to earn high-yield returns and induce customers to purchase and store digital asset commodities, wrote in a statement by the CFTC. The agency now seeks permanent registration and trading bans on Ehrlich alongside restitution. Restitution is basically money that he has to pay back, disgorgement, and civil monetary penalties. Man, this guy could be in a lot of trouble. When Voyager filed bankruptcy in July, it owed its customers $1.7 billion. Wow. That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of cheddar. Traders keep preferring Bitcoin over Ethereum. Not going to get into that. The 477 million FTX hack, a new blockchain trail. And so more stuff. This is, remember when FTX got hacked? This is saying in November 2022, 477 million was stolen from FTX by an unidentified hacker. Just as the exchange collapsed into bankruptcy, the thief lost 94 million in the days following the hack as they rushed to launder the funds through decentralized exchanges, cross-chain bridges, and mixers. 74 million was sent through Renbridge, a service owned by FTX sister company Alameda Research. So, kind of feels like this was an inside job, if you ask me. Much of the stolen assets remained dormant until a few days before the start of Bankman-Fried's trial and have continued to move since then. I think they'll find that maybe Sam or somebody connected to Sam, is the person behind this, right? This is just way too. I don't know. FTX favorite Solana dips after frequent mentions in Sam Bankman-Fried's trial. I don't really need to get into that. It kind of tells you what's happening in the title there. JP Morgan debuts blockchain collateral settlement in BlackRock Barclays trade. Check us out. JP Morgan Chase. Can I lower this? JP Morgan Chase Company has gone live with its first collateral settlement for clients using blockchain as the largest U.S. bank by assets pushes ahead with commercial applications built on technology at crypto's core. JP Morgan's tokenized collateral network, or TCN, was used by BlackRock Inc. to turn shares in one of its money market funds into digital tokens. That's the start, guys. It's the start. Which were transferred to Barclays PLC as collateral for the over-the-counter derivatives trade between the two institutions. Tyrone Labon, head of Onyx Digital Assets at JP Morgan, said in an interview, "It's a rare instance of a blockchain app developed by a bank being commercialized, but volumes are still tiny compared with JP Morgan's overall businesses. While Wall Street firms have spent about a decade testing ways to use blockchain to simplify some of their more complex processes, the publicity of applications in commercial use has promoted critics to question whether technology has any real utility in finance." All right, there's a lot more here, guys. I'm not going to get into it, but if you want to go ahead and research this article, please do. We've talked about that. With liquidity across digital asset landscape continuing to rescend, we assess the activity on both on and off-chain environment and produce new frameworks to help identify peak alt-season regimes. Glassnode has a lot of really good information, guys. If you don't use Glassnode, you probably should take a look at it if you really like a lot of this analytics and market data. It's pretty great. Bitcoin capital increase, Ethereum's rotation, increasing stable flows. Let's keep it going here. Crypto token Ether could rise to fivefold by the end of 2026. This is just an opinion by Stan Chart. I actually don't know who this person is, but they're saying it could go as high as $8,000 over the next 2 years. Could very well happen. Could very well happen, or they could get sued. Either one. It's either going to $8,000 or they're getting sued. I don't know. This is actually pretty cool. Any computational function can be verified on Bitcoin. BitVM is a computing paradigm to express tuning complete Bitcoin contracts. This requires no changes to the network's consensus rules. Rather than executing computations on Bitcoin, they merely are verified similarly to optimistic rollups. A prover makes a claim that is given function evaluates for some particular inputs on some specific output. If this claim is false, then the verifier can perform a subsequent fraud proof and punish the prover using the mechanism for any computable function can be verified on Bitcoin. So these like smart contracts, they're really trying to expand the Bitcoin's reach here. There's a lot more information here on the side if you want to take a look at this. Robin Linus, okay? Oh, here you go. This is even more stuff. Binance founders' $1 billion plan to save crypto quietly fizzled out. IRA has invested less than $30 million. So remember when Binance was like, hey, we're going to do, I can't read the article, but Binance, when he said he's going to give, $1 billion to kind of help the FTX people out, the people that missed it, or the people that, lost money, only put $30 million on, and he kind of gave up. So more kind of weird things from CZ. If RippleNet is removed, we're going to go out of business. Go, Lance. Let me just play this for you. Another clip.
So it's like a value paradox, right? If I have a wire that I need to send, a $50,000 wire to a vendor, and I send it a little after cutoff, they'll get it the next day. No big whoop, right? But if I have 5,000 freelancers in a very challenging corridor where the average ticket is $150 or $200, they're depending on that money. And I don't hear like one client going, hey, or one vendor going, hey, did you send that wire out? I hear from everybody. So the ability with some of the upgrades that we've been doing to hold cash in our account, send a message to our bank saying, okay, here's the transfers we want to book today, and then having them flow through RippleNet via book transfer through your system to the end user is any day of the week, day or night. That's been huge for us.
All right. So I'm trying to answer a couple of questions here in the chat. I do appreciate each and every one of you. We're kind of getting towards the end here. I got a couple more things to go over, and then we'll get out of here. You guys were just asking about ISO compliant. Here you go. Updated DLT complying ISO standards. You have Casper, Quant, HBAR, XLM, XRP, XTC, Algo, and IOTA. Additions, SHX, Check, CHEQ, Morpheus Network, which is supply chain, Render, and EWT, which is Energy Web Token. So new additions to ISO, guys, and there's going to be a lot more that get added to this list. Trust me. I mean, they're all going to need to be ISO compliant. To get to be ISO compliant, certain companies have to do certain reporting and requirements and things like that. You need KYC, AML. You have to do all that jazz. But I'll do a video to what's it called, to let you know. Since I think wholesale 2024, we should see some movement. I do think so too, Nomad. I think 2024 is going to be a good year. You're going to see a lot of CBDC announcements from Ripple in 2024, guys, because 2025 is really the year, I think, that you have your Basel frameworks being implemented so banks can custody crypto assets. You have a large part of the world, especially in the United States, that wants to buy crypto, but they want to buy it from their bank where they feel comfortable, they feel safe. A lot of people are not taking the initiative that you are. If you're listening to this, that means you are trying to understand this future networks and what's going to happen, right? A lot of people are just going about their daily lives and they don't care about all of this stuff. But hey, if they get paid and they're like, I mean, maybe I'll make some money with Bitcoin or XRP or whatever, and their bank offers them that, you're going to get emails in one day from your bank. Hey, you just got paid. You want to put 5% of it into crypto? I guarantee you they're going to do it because they can make money. Banks are here to make money. At the end of the day, if a bank doesn't offer services that a customer wants and another bank does, that customer is going to move their money to the bank that offers them the best services at the best rates. That's a fact. Here you go. XCC Anchor, a prominent player in blockchain infrastructure solutions, has announced a partnership with the XCC network. The collaboration involves integrating XCC's network into Anchor's remote procedure call RPC service, making it easier for developers to harness the full potential of XCC's network. Great. More stuff happening with XCC. I love it. Bank of England has this. They put out this roadmap here. Talks about our good friends here at Ripple, R3 too. I mean, you're going to see like R3 is a big deal out here, right? I would love to see Ripple make a bid and try to buy R3. I do think if Ripple IPOs and their valuation goes something stupid, 20, 30, 40 billion dollars, I think they might make a play for R3, but R3 is a privately owned company. Their board of shares, the board would have to approve that sale. But something deep down in me feels like Ripple kind of wants to or is going to try to one day. I don't think they have enough money to do it right now, because to buy R3, you probably would need anywhere from $1.5 to $3 or $4 billion, and Ripple doesn't have that money laying around. Now, if the XRP token went to something stupid tomorrow or next year or whenever the date is, Ripple owns a lot of the supply, so they would be able to do that, right? So just interesting. Distributed ledger technology, proof of concept. Remember, a lot of these guys are proof of concept. A project to explore and demonstrate basic functions of wholesale settlement using DLT. We built this work via a second exercise working with Baton Systems, Clearmatics Technologies Limited, R3, and Token to ensure our renewed real-time gross settlement service could connect with systems based on DLT and other innovative technologies. Cross-border synchronization, a joint project with Ripple demonstrating that synchronized FX transactions in 2 different simulated real-time gross settlement systems can be achieved, leading to the incorporation and synchronization functionality into the roadmap of the real-time gross settlement renewal. And you can take a look at this document, Bank of England paper 2023 roadmap for real-time gross payments service beyond 2024. Okay. I think that's it, guys. I think we're at the end here. Yeah, we're at the end here. So, Matt, we're going an hour and 34 minutes. I think I went through maybe like 60 or 70 different pieces of news here and videos. I'll spend a little bit of time with you guys, talking to you guys. Ron Wilson, great to see you. Charles, thank you for being here the whole time. Other Nomad, thank you for being here the whole time. I see you talk. What's up, Meat? Great to see you, man. Let's see, Sensei, I've mentioned the CBDC with friends in Portugal, and some of them are connected with the banks, and no one knew what a CBDC was. Yeah, I mean, not everybody is not everyone is taking the initiative that you are taking, Nomad. You have a lot of people that just don't care. My best friend, my best friend in the world, I've known him for 20 years. His name's Dwight. Great guy. We spent a lot of time together. I talk his ear off about crypto, XRP, and other assets, and he doesn't see what I see and what you see, and it's okay. He's still gonna be my best friend, but I really do talk his ear off, and I try to say, hey man, just buy 1,000 XRP or 1,000 XLM or 1,000, not 1,000 quant, that'd be a lot, but put it in a ledger and just put it for your daughter, right? She's 2 now. Big shout out to her. But I said, put it in a wallet, put it for her for college. In 15, 16 years, that'll probably pay for her college and her car and everything else. And he won't do it. So it's all good. Shillfinger, you missed the chat. It's all good, man. It's recorded. You can always go back and take a look. I want to remind Cryptoneers members that I had a meeting this morning with a blockchain infrastructure company, really cool company. I'm going to be posting some information in the community later. They're going to be coming in for an AMA to talk with us. It's about $150,000 market cap project right now. I think could be something pretty special. So, and there's nodes. So I'll be dropping that information for the Cryptoneers community here in just a little bit. I was trying to buy some before I got on here, but the price impact was nuts, and so I need to figure this out. I'm gonna create some nodes and show you how to do all that stuff. But let me answer some questions. I've created a small escrow account for him, and I can slap him in the face. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about your friend Nomad? Rod says, makes no sense for there to be parties to buy a few billion and push the market up, because the next partner will pay more, then the next partner will pay more, and so on. So, Rod, you have what, 11,500 banks connected to Swift. Some of these banks, let's say half, right? Because not all banks are going to want to, get into crypto, but I just don't think those banks will be banks, in 10 years. But let's say that half of those banks get into crypto and they want to offer crypto to their customers. How would they do that? Right? They could connect to, platforms like Aladdin. They can connect to exchanges and do that kind of stuff through exchanges, but they're going to want to own some of those assets that they're selling, because banks do want to make money, right? Ariana, great to see you. Shillfinger, great to see you. So what happens when those banks start to buy and hold assets? What does that look like for the market? Where does that take the market? Where does that take the tokens that we own, right? We're still very early, and a lot of people, you want to be rich tomorrow, but, we are not on our timelines. We are on, the institutions' timelines, and they move how fast they want to move. right? And no matter what we do, and no matter what we say, and no matter how bad we want it, we are still on their timelines. So we have to have that mindset and understand that if you've done your due diligence, if you've done your research, and you like what you hold, and you think that it's going to go up in time, you need to give it time. And I've had to learn patience. I am not a very patient person. I was gonna tell you a story about my wife, but she'll probably kill me if I tell that story. But I'm not a patient person, and I've had to learn patience being in crypto, and it's hard, but you know, we're here. We're here for the long term. Plus, I get to grow the channel and meet amazing people like you, and talk with you, and we can, you know, go through this news and this information. And there's 56 of you still here after an hour and a half, and I just really appreciate each and every one of you. Any questions? Anyone want to say anything before we kind of end here today? I need to get some lunch in me before I kind of fall down and pass out here in my house. But I just wanted to thank each and every one of you, Malsaber, Ariana, MMT, you know, Meet, everyone who comes from the Cryptonaires community. JP, great to see you, bud. Charles, thank you for being here so long. You know, John was in here earlier. You know, thank you guys for spending this time for me. R Solis, thank you so much. NSP, thank you for being here. Nomad, of course, man, thank you for being here and talking this whole time. I really appreciate all the comments that you left. It was nice to talk with you. LAX, always nice to see you. You might be asleep, LAX, but great to see you. Zelf, always nice to see you, man. Just, it's a real pleasure. LAX, right there you are. LAX, nice to see you, man. Wife's impatience is like fire and water. You're absolutely right. My wife loves to talk, man. She comes home and she loves to talk. And some days, like, I am so spent. Like yesterday, I recorded 7 videos for the channel yesterday. She came home and she was just talking, and I was trying to be present, but I was checked out. So my mind frame is I don't have any crypto. Hey, if crypto is not your thing, it's all good, man. All good. Mulciver, thank you, man. I always appreciate you. MMT, always an honor to see you, man. Yeah, no, I think it was a great chat, man. We had like 70-something people at one time, so this is really nice to be able to. What's up, Ronbo? I see you, Ronbo. I read every one of your comments, Ronbo. FSB says on the website, implementation for cross-border payments in 2027. Well, tell that to Swift. I mean, Swift is moving this year to this new ISO system, so I don't know. I mean, everyone can be on a different timeline, but Swift, Citi, JP Morgan, they're all doing it this year, so we'll have to see. Sensei, once we've reached our XRP goals, party on me. I love that. Well, I'm gonna take you up on that, Nomad. I really will. You can send the private jet, okay? I'll get on that. Send it to Honolulu. I'll jump on. Make sure there's nice champagne on there, though. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just messing with you, man. But no, seriously, send the jet. I'll get on it. We'll go traveling, man. I really look forward to it, guys. Well, hey, I'm gonna jump off and get some lunch. It's a real honor to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for all your time. I know it's very valuable, and the time spent with me, I just know I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I will see you guys again. Thank you. This has been Sensei Chat 76 for the Cryptonaires and wider audience. Next week's chat will be in the Cryptonaires community. For Cryptonaires members. I got a lot of stuff to talk to you about, and I will post that project as soon as I grab some lunch and actually figure out how I want to get into this, because I'm going to be creating some nodes, and I have to figure out how to do that before I kind of drop it all on you, because you're going to want to know. All right, guys. Aloha. Thank you. Bye, guys. Appreciate you. That was